You know, race fans, one of the truly positive things that happened over the last couple of seasons was some race teams, the fact that some race teams did some pretty wild things to stay afloat and keep people employed and keep race cars on the track. Richard Petty Motorsports is one of those teams that's had to make some moves, and as Wendy Venturini tells us now, they got to make some more moves this season to stay afloat. Wendy?
Yeah, they sure have, Johnny. Now, of course, that big switch last week with Elliott Sadler switching over to a Ford for the 1 week, and now AJ Allmendinger will be running a Ford this week, and the remaining 2 other races for the 2009 season. We decided to catch up with Richard Petty, the king himself, to give us an update about this switch over to Ford. You raced Ford 40 years ago, 1969, ran a bunch of Fords and won a bunch of races. I'll get it out. How cool is it to return to Ford for you?
Well, you know, it's something different, okay? And then if you look back at the Richard Petty and Petty Enterprises, and then we went over and done another deal, and then we've done the deal with Richard Petty Motorsport. So we've been upside down for the last couple of years, and hopefully, you know, we had a chance to look at Ford, and right now they're pretty stable, hopefully, in the car market. And we said, okay, that's the way we need to go, because these are American-made deals and the whole deal. And so we had a chance to go back with Ford, and we're working on that and doing the 2 or 3 cars or 2 or 3 races. We're trying to get oriented to Ford, so that when we go to Daytona, it's not 100% new to us. It's going to be a big change anyway, but trying to make the change all at one time. So we say, okay, if we can work our way into it, we're going to have some idea when we get to Daytona or get ready for next season, we'll have some idea of what we've got to work with.
Now, when I sat down with you about a year ago for The Real Deal, you were making that move from Level Cross to Mooresville, North Carolina. You told me then you had to roll with the changes. The sport was changing. It is changing every day, and you seem to keep rolling with the changes at Petty.
Well, I guess we're rolling down the hill, you know what I mean, with changes, and we're trying to make the right changes as we go along, because the economy's changing, the atmosphere's changing, society's changing. So, you know, we spent 60 years in Level Cross with the same society. So we said, okay, we got to get out in the real world. And this is just another one of the things that we think will make us stronger, not only this coming year, but in years to come. So even though I'm a pretty old guy, I still got a bunch of young guys that work for us, and we're trying to do a future deal for a lot of different people.
Right now, with 2010 right around the corner, it seems like, could you tell us the latest update with your teams? We know right now it's going to be the 3 cars for 2010, or what can you tell us here on race day?
Well, right now we're working on 4 cars, okay, and nothing is in concrete right now, so I'd be premature in really telling you really what's going on. I think I know, and I think on the other hand, I know what I'd like to see, okay, so somewhere in between we'll probably make it work.
All right, well, this week we hear from Richard Petty. Last week we heard from Richard Childress. One thing is for sure, the sport is evolving and changing, and these guys who have been around the sport since the beginning are changing along with it. Hermie?